Do you want to create more abundance in the coming year? This is Robert Manni, host of Guys TV, and this week my very special guest is author Susan Shumsky. We're going to talk about her new book, and also we're going to chat with Leonard Perlmutter about National Conscience Month. It all starts right here, right now on Guys TV. You can also catch me on KCAA Radio in Southern California and Guys Radio, my worldwide podcast. Guys TV, Guys Radio, thanks for your support and have a happy new year. Okay, Guys Radio, I have a very special guest for you today. She's a return guest. I think it's a third time on Guys Radio, so we love to have her back here. Her name is Susan Shumsky, and she is a well-known writer. I mean, she's amazing. She dedicates her life to helping others take command of their lives in powerful and positive ways. She's an award-winning, best-selling author of more than 20 books, including Instant Healing, the Big Book of Chakras, Chakra Healing, and the Third Eye Meditations. She's a pioneer in the human potential field and has taught meditation, prayer, affirmations, and intuition worldwide for over 50 years. She's also co-founder of Divine Revelation, a unique technology for contacting the divine presence, hearing and testing the inner voice, and receiving divine guidance. Her latest book is called Prosperity Meditations, and it's all about everyday practices to create an abundant life. And it reminds us that being on a spiritual path does not mean we need to be poor. Susan introduces a fresh new attitude about money and how to draw money and wealth into our lives in a really positive way. And, wouldn't the world be a better place if spiritual people, or any people for that matter, who aspire to have a better life, could have access to limitless wealth? All right. Susan Shumsky, welcome back to Guys Radio. Good to see you.
Well, I'm just really excited to be here with you today.
Fantastic. Well, let's get it on in terms of your book and the things that are happening out there, because you're a spiritual teacher, and I want to get your take on a few topics, as well as talking about this book about prosperity meditation. So let's start out with a kind of a big picture question that's been on everybody's mind, Susan. With the new world economy, a volatile stock market, exploding real estate prices, and the emerging cryptocurrency, the divide between rich and poor in the world has never been greater. And in the country, and the average American has never been more awash with debt as right now. It's a crazy time. Is there a spiritual reason for all this happening right now?
I think that the reason why chaos is going on around us is so that it will force us to go within and to become more introspective, which is really what is happening, especially with the pandemic. People have had to reevaluate their lives. They've had to prioritize what is really the most important thing to me. What are my true values? Because true prosperity is really about understanding and realizing your true values, the things that are most important to you. And those often are not necessarily associated with money or wealth. Often those values are more abstract.
You think, so this is all, what's happening now seems to be all for a reason. Is there a kind of a resetting going on as people talk about? Some people talk about it in a good way, other people talk about it in a negative way, where just the elite, if you will, are just going to take everything and nobody's going to own everything? Or is this reset going to collapse the system and something new will reemerge that creates some chaos initially, but ultimately becomes better for everyone? What's your take?
The people have the power. It's kind of a silly thing, power to the people, But the reality is that we're creating our own destiny moment by moment, both individually and collectively. So we have all of the power, and we're creating what's happening in the world through our every thought, our every word, and our every deed. So the reality is that things are going to get better because people are not going to stand for oppression. They're not going to stand for lack of freedom. And I think people are already rebelling to some degree or another. And we have to create our own destiny. And we have to create a positive outcome. And the most important issues, I think, are ecology. I think the most important thing for us to do is to make sure that we have a place to live.
Right.
And if we continue with the way things have been going, we won't have one. This earth will no longer be a habitable environment. So, I think we have to prioritize what is most vital and most urgent in our world.
Yeah, it's sad sometimes because I know some people and they'll say, well, Dad, you know what? They'll figure it out. And they just keep going and just chase the money. So let's talk about money. Seems like maybe one of the inspirations for your crafting this wonderful book, Prosperity Meditations, is that a lot of people on a spiritual path are saying, hey, it's like it's not as easy for me to make the money I may have made in my corporate career, and it kind of stinks. So what can they do to use their power, their untapped power, to attract and accept wealth and prosperity into their lives? So what exactly was your inspiration for writing this book?
Well, as with many of my books, I actually was invited to write the book by my publisher. But I was very happy that they chose this topic of prosperity, because I think it's so important for people on a spiritual path, especially because we have all been brainwashed to believe that money is bad, money is evil, that rich people can never be spiritual, that spiritual people can never be rich. And all of these are really fallacies. The reality is that we all deserve to be prosperous on every level: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and in every way, both materially and emotionally, with love, with happiness, with joy in our lives. And prosperity is not just about money, it's about living an abundant life. So it's really important and vital now for people to get in touch with their true mission, their true heart's desire. And in that way, they can attract whatever they need in order to fulfill that true desire.
Okay, let's get into that. The book, it's a lot of it is about meditations and mantras and affirmations. So what are some steps that people can take to go inside to find out their life's purpose, if you will?
Well, life purpose is something that I think is really essential. It's the fundamental thing that we have to find in order to be happy. And happiness will attract prosperity. So what is it that is our true heart's desire? Well, there are some ways to figure that out. One way would be to think about what you aspired to as a child. What was in your heart when you were a younger person, when you didn't sell out, when you actually had ideals and hopes and dreams and aspirations as a youth. So that is something we can look at. And then also in my book, Prosperity Meditations, I have something called the Unlimited Thinking Exercise. And that is a way for you to find out what is your true divine purpose and your true divine power.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
So if you ask yourself the question, what would I do if I had unlimited money, unlimited power, unlimited helpers, if I absolutely could not fail, if I had unlimited health, unlimited time, if I had unlimited resources, what would I do with my life in that situation? And then make a list of all the things that you would do if you were in that amazing situation where you had unlimited everything. Don't think about necessarily what you would buy or what toys you would acquire. More importantly would be, what would you do with your time? What would you do day by day? And when you contemplate that, what you'll find is something will emerge, and that something is your true mission, your true purpose, that which you have been born to do.
When it's the good news is you teach meditation, and the good news is that more and more people are participating in this wonderful practice. But that said, so many people struggle with their practice or they've given up. Often they claim that they don't have the time or they have trouble quieting their mind. What are your thoughts about this? And what are people doing wrong when they meditate?
Well, the whole idea of quieting their mind and blanking their mind and all of that sort of thing, that's an impossible path to go on. So just forget that. People have ideas about meditation that are not true. The easiest way for anyone to meditate is to do what I call guided meditation. Guided meditation is the practice that is in my book, Prosperity Meditations. And guided meditation is just following the instructions step by step. So really, I call it the do nothing program. Do nothing, nothing, and less than nothing. And the less you do, the better it works. So the do nothing program means just follow the guided meditation step by step. You will be told what to do in every step of the meditation. Now, obviously, Prosperity Meditations is a book, but it's also an audio book. And the audio book will help people to be able to listen to the instructions step by step to take them into the meditations that are in the book. By the way, the book isn't just meditations, it's also affirmations, prayers, mantras. So you can actually read those from the book as well as the meditations, and the meditations take you into a deep meditative state. So what I recommend actually is to read the book audibly onto a device and then just sit comfortably, start your device, close your eyes, and go deep into the meditation. Allow your own voice to guide you into the deep meditative state. So that's what I recommend, is that you make an audio file out of the meditations that you want to practice in the book. And then that guided step by step by step, every moment you'll be guided what to do, what to do, what to do. And that then all of a sudden you're meditating. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to have any skill or any training or any special magic powers. Mm-hmm. All you need to do is just listen to the guided meditation.
Now, let's follow up on that, because you mentioned, that's not important to quiet your mind. I need to follow up on that, because I learned how to meditate via Fritz Smith's zero balancing. And then I had a problem because I had a cassette tape and I had nowhere to play it. So fortunately, I had kind of memorized the practice and the steps. So I do get to a place when I do it on my own. I don't have to listen to it anymore because I can't, frankly, but I get to a place where, if a thought comes by, it's like a cloud in the sky, it just drifts by. So my mind is quieting. I'm not trying to quiet my mind, but my mind is quieting. And then I get into a space where I feel I have more of a connection with source and spirit, if you will. And if I ask a question, I get an answer. Now I don't question it and saying, oh, it's just me talking to myself. I actually know that the voice coming through may sound like me, but the message is from my connection with source. Could you respond to that to help our listeners and viewers?
Absolutely. And what that means is you're a very good meditator, an excellent meditator who has mastered the practice. Not only did you master the practice of meditation, you've also mastered the practice of intuition, because you've been asking and receiving guidance, and that guidance is coming to you and you're trusting it. So you are a very good meditator. For people who are just beginning, however, it's frustrating for them because they think they have to quiet their mind. They think they have to make some effort. They think they have to concentrate. They have to blank their mind. All those things are erroneous, simply because that's really not the way to get into that state of deep meditation. Like I said, the easiest way is the guided meditation. And by the way, you were doing guided meditation.
Yes. Yes.
You had learned it through a guided meditation, and then you remembered the steps, and so you started doing it on your own. But there are many ways to meditate, and all of them are wonderful. So don't want to discount other methods. I just want to say that I believe personally that the easiest way for beginners is to do guided meditation, because you don't have to do anything.
What do you think, Susan, of the folks, and many people say this, I don't have the time. Now, some people would say, even if you're just taking a walk, you can be in a meditative state. You're out in nature. You don't have to just be reacting to all the problems in the world or the things we have to do every day. You can just go for your walk and relax. That's a form of meditation. Or maybe going for a run. You're out there, and after about 2 or 3 miles, you get your endorphins going, and you're just part of everything. What are your thoughts on and your response to people who say they don't have the time to meditate?
I think that they can't afford not to meditate. That's my belief. I think it's really on your priority list. It should be number one because it's going to keep you healthy. It's going to keep you happy. It's going to keep you smiling, and it's going to give you great joy in your life. And really vital. It's vital for your health, for your well-being, mental and physical health. Mental health is a big issue now with the pandemic that we've had for the last 2 years. People are really suffering, and we don't need to suffer. Meditation is a way to remove suffering from our lives.
No, that's a great point. And that's one of the byproducts of this pandemic. There's so much arguing about some specific things we won't get into, but the byproduct of the pandemic has been, I think there's going to be an increase, if there hasn't been already, in people having more anxiety, more stress, mental illness, et cetera. And you layer the debt on top of that a lot of people are accruing now, just everyday people. And it's just, how much, it's almost a test, how much can people take before they start to really push back. Unfortunately, there is some pushing back going on. Let's see what areas it continues with. Let's talk about the book a little bit more because it's a very good book. My special guest is Susan Shumsky. The book is called Prosperity Meditations, Everyday Practices to Create an Abundant Life. And part of it is about spiritual people always needing more money, but it's for everyday people. It's for all of us that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, a lot of us, we're always chasing, and we're trained in our culture to chase things. And I was having this conversation with my wife yesterday. She said, I know you're a go-getter and you're good at it, and you did it your whole corporate career, but now is the time, keep doing what you're doing, but you want to learn how to attract things to you and allow them, learn how to receive, learn how to allow. Could you talk about that a little bit for our audience, please?
I think you brought up a really wonderful point. I studied for 2 decades with a guru named Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He was the guru of the Beatles. And one of his little sayings that he would often say was, do less and accomplish more. Do nothing and accomplish everything. And what he was talking about really is to go into a deep state of meditation and thereby gain great inner strength and inner power, and then come out of meditation, and your activity then will be very dynamic and you'll be very effective in your everyday life. So yes, when we are more in touch with our true nature, more in touch with natural law, more in touch with the universe, whatever you want to call it, with our true self, with the divine presence within us, then we gain greater merit, shall we say. We are more in tune, and thereby we attract good into our lives. We create our own destiny through every thought, every word, and every deed. Lord Buddha said, and this is really a stunning statement, I think. Lord Buddha said in the very first verse of the first chapter of the Dhammapada, which is the most important scripture in Buddhism, he said, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. That's an amazing thing. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. And then he goes on to say, if a person speaks or acts with a pure thought, then happiness follows him or her. If a person speaks or acts with an impure thought, then unhappiness follows him or her. So what he's saying in essence is that we create our own destiny and our own reality through every thought, every word, and every deed. And that is moment by moment, day by day. So we're absolutely 100% responsible for everything that happens to us. In fact, nothing ever happens to us. We only happen to ourselves. So we're creating that. And, you know, Jesus said something very similar. He said, we are not defiled by what we put into our mouths. We're defiled by what comes out of our mouths. So in other words, he's also saying that we're creating our destiny through the words that we say, through what we speak. So it's very important for us to begin to change our habits and to begin to speak and think and act in positive, powerful ways.
You know, that's a great point. And it's a great segue to the next question, which is a lot of people, when they learn to, they're working with manifesting and they want certain things and they're working on drawing things in. And a lot of times these things are in their field, but they're seeing them as coming to them or out there, but not as they have them. What is and I think that happens a lot. Is that true, number one? And two, if so, what is the methodology that people who they're aware enough to know that everything is possible and everything out there is in their field? It's a matter of removing blockages and bringing it all the way in instead of just out of reach.
There's a couple things I want to say about that. First of all, our speech, the way we speak. If we are always speaking in future tense, then things will never come to us in the present. If we're saying affirmations like, I will this, I will that, this will happen. Yeah, okay, fine. It'll happen maybe in the future. Mm-hmm. However, if we say affirmations like, I am happy, I am healthy, I am secure, I am protected, I am wealthy, I am strong, I am powerful. When we say things, always use present tense whenever you're speaking an affirmation and whenever you're speaking a prayer, always present tense. That's one thing. But also just having the attitude that it is possible for you to demonstrate this right here, right now. But I have to say, speech is so powerful. It is so powerful. The manifestation aspect of speech is just incredible. And that's the reason why I wrote books like Instant Healing, Earth Energy Meditations, Third Eye Meditations. Those books are all filled with affirmative prayers and affirmations that we can say that have instant results. It's amazing how speech produces an instant result. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling worried, if you're frustrated and things are not working for you, if you say a positive statement, immediately your attitude's going to change. And your attitude is creating your destiny. All that we are is the result of what we have thought.
Great point. And it all comes into play in your book when you talk about also the prosperity consciousness. So the name of the book is Prosperity Meditations, Everyday Practices to Create an Abundant Life. Great job, Susan Shumsky. There's so much in it. There's a lot of affirmations. There's a lot of mantras. There's a lot of working with every aspect of your life, including your health, your wealth, your well-being, your outlook, and just living your best life. So thank you so much for your work, Susan. Could you tell everybody where they can find out more about you? The book drops on January 14th, I believe, 2022. So it's around the bend. You can pre-order it now, but where can people find out more about you, Susan?
Well, I have a couple of websites. One is drsusan.org. That's drsusan.org. And then I also have another great website, divinetravels.com. That's travels is plural. That's DIVINETRAVELS.com. So
Right.
that's where you can find out about what I do.
All right, great job. Terrific book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm practicing, and having fun with it, because when we're on our spiritual path and we're doing things like meditation, I myself, I've meditated every morning at 6 a.m. for the past year. It's made an incredible difference, positive changes in my life, and my health as a reflection of it. Just feel fantastic and full of energy. And I thank people like you for doing all the teaching out there, that teaching us to like look inside and have a better life on the outside. So thank you, Susan Shumsky. Please come back to Guys Radio and keep doing the great work you're doing.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
All right. If you enjoy the guests and content I bring you each and every week on Guys Radio and TV, please support us by subscribing to our channels. Thanks.